What's up, guys? So today I'm gonna be making a Obby in Roblox Studio. So I start real quick, so let's just get started. So just to start, I'm gonna select base plate. So we need to make a place for where all the players spawn. So I'm gonna go in view and just open my Explorer and Properties tab. And then I'm gonna delete the base plate by just clicking delete. So I'm gonna insert a new part. Let me just go near it. And I'm gonna select the scale tool and just make it a little bit bigger, like it's like a big square. So this is gonna be the place where the players will spawn. So we need to find a way, we need to set a spawn point for the players. So to do this, I'm just gonna click the plus symbol and insert spawn location. So this is how it looks. I'm just gonna scale it so it's like pretty tiny. So I'm just gonna put it at this corner, and I might as well just scale this the starting place a little bit. So I'm gonna put the spawn location in the corner, and what I'm simply gonna do is just duplicate it, and then I'm gonna move it to the other corner. So there's gonna be a lot of different places where the players can spawn, and it's randomly. I tested it out, and the player spawns in a random location. So I'm just gonna put it in all the corners, and then there could be one spawn right in the middle. So this looks like the middle, or yeah. So to find out if the way I found out if the player was spawned at a random location was I just placed a part which was a different color right in front of each spawn location, and then I played it multiple times, and then I found out if it was randomly or not. So I'm just gonna click play. So there we go. We spawn in the spawn location. So we don't want the player to see this, or it's gonna feel pretty awkward. Like there's a lot of spawn locations and they're pretty big. So the way I'm gonna do this is just select all of these, and I'm gonna turn can collide off, and I will let's see where the so I'm gonna turn the transparency to 1. So basically it's gonna be hidden. And the reason you see these things is because there's a decal on them. That means like an image. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that for each spawn location. So it's hidden now, and we could test that by clicking play. And yeah, we don't see anything. So now with me, I like to group all my parts. So I'm just gonna select the first spawn location, and then I'm gonna do shift click and select all of the spawn locations, and then I'm just gonna click Control G, which is the way to group all the selected parts, and then I'm gonna rename it to let's do spawn. So if we go ahead and ungroup and I mean click this arrow, it will show all the spawn locations. So this will be the spawn. And now we just need to design this starting area real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and click the part. And first of all, I'm just going to change this color by clicking the color and making it probably really black, and black. So it seems like a good color for the outside. So I'm just gonna scale this just to fit the main square. So we have to duplicate it. Let's see. Okay, we just need to move this. Yeah, so now we need to duplicate this, and we need to move it to this other side. So now I'm gonna duplicate both of these, and I'm just gonna I'm just gonna rotate this. So it doesn't exactly fit all the way, but I'm just gonna real quick scale this. Well, an easier way to find this out is just by real quick moving it. So we have to scale it this much. Okay. So it sometimes isn't right. I don't know why, but it sometimes just goes up to this length. So now I'm gonna do it for this side as well. So I'm gonna move it and then scale this. Okay. And scale this on this side as well. So now this will be our spawn area. I might as well just add some color to the main square. Probably make it, let's see, maybe a yellowish color. Yeah, that seems fine. So now I'm gonna select these parts, and like I said before, I really like grouping stuff because it's easier when you do it, duplicate it, and especially in Obby. So I'm gonna click Control G and name this. Let's do starting area. So another way you can rename something is by clicking F2, but for me it barely works. So if you want to do that, you could. So this is our starting area, but an obby is just not a starting area. It's a lot. There's a lot of obstacles as well. So what I'm gonna do is insert a part, and first I'm just gonna change the color to probably like green, and then I'm gonna scale this and just move it to see how much more I have to scale it. So let's just increase the length, and first let's just move this down, and let's increase the length from this side as well. So that looks about good. So now we just have to scale this like a long way and make this probably this big. So now we're gonna make an obstacle. If the player touched like the lava lines, like the ones that are red, the player will die. So the way we're gonna do this is by making another part, and I'm gonna change the color to a really red. And then in the material that you can select from here and also here, I'm gonna change this to neon, so it's like a bright color. And then I'm just gonna rotate this so it faces the correct way, and I'm gonna scale this, and I'm just gonna move this a little. So Roblox doesn't identify if if some player touches it, it's gonna die. You have to script it. So I'm just gonna select this part, and then I'm gonna insert a script. So this is the starting script. It just says print hello world, which in the output tab it will print hello world. So, and the output you can open from here, but I don't like it for some reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. And so we're gonna make a function. If a player touches it, it will make its health to 0. That means it's gonna die. So the way we're gonna do this is by saying a script.Parent.Touched connect function hit. So this might seem a little confusing if you're just a beginner, but what this does is so if something touches it, it's gonna connect a function. So this is a way to auto connect a function, and the hit inside the parentheses of the function means it's a parameter. So now we're gonna make an if statement. So if hit dot parent colon find first child humanoid. So basically what this does is it's gonna find the hit's parents and it's gonna find the first child. So the thing that touched it, it's gonna find the first child of it. So basically the two childs of part is script and the weld. So it's gonna find the first child, which will be humanoid. So then we're gonna write hit dot parent dot humanoid dot health equals to 0. So what this will do is that it will set the humanoid's health, which is basically the player's health, to 0 if it touches it. So we can play this. So if we touch this line, you can see it dies. So basically something I'm gonna do real quick is that you know how players they get really annoyed that when they die the respawn time is like really high and it takes a long time. Well, there's an easy solution for that and we don't have to put code. So what I'm gonna do is from workspace, I'm not gonna do it in workspace, I'm gonna do it in players. So basically first these are all services. So players are the players in the game, and these are all the surfaces. So I'm gonna click players, and in this and in the properties tab that I got from view, you see respawn time. So that's the time when a player dies, what's gonna be the seconds in between, like after how long will the player respawn again. So it's initially 5 seconds, but I'm gonna change this to 2. So if I play this, so if I play this and I touch it, it's gonna die a lot. It's gonna die and respawn a lot quicker than before. So we could change it to 0 and it's gonna instantly respawn. But we don't want that. It's gonna be too easy for them then. So we got this. So we got the red lines, and what I'm gonna do is just duplicate it by hitting Control D. So, and then I'm just gonna make it a little spread apart. And I'm just gonna make a few lines since I have to admit I'm not that good in Obby for some reason. I tried a lot in practicing. So you have to make sure that the lines are not like, let's just say for example, you move them to here. Well, that player could still jump over it, but for example, let's say you do this. So if I play, so the player has to jump. So the player, there's no way for the player to jump over this. Well, there actually is a way, but let's just say we put 4 lines like this, and so this, I think it's gonna be impossible. So if we go and try to do it, it's not gonna work because it's impossible. This is a really big length. So I'm just gonna hit Control Z. So if we try it like this, so I'm just gonna try my best. So thank goodness I did it. So this will be our first obstacle. So I'm always gonna recommend you to group it since it's much easier and always for the obby. So I'm just gonna group it and I'm gonna try F2 for one. So I'm gonna name this obstacle 1. I'm gonna type it like this. So this will be obstacle 1. So I'm gonna duplicate the starting area. So you see what I mean? This is gonna be the platform after obstacle 1, like the resting area. So you see what I mean? Like it's so better just to group. like in an obby. Like you could just easily duplicate the group. So I'm gonna select this. It's not gonna be called starting area. I'm gonna name this probably obstacle one. I'm just gonna say base. It's a bad name, but you can name it to whatever you want. So this is gonna be the base, and I just want to show you real quick one thing what we're gonna do. So in obbies, like there's checkpoints that save your data. Wait, oh yeah. And one thing I forgot to mention is that you need to put anchor. So basically this is an anchor. So this is not an anchor. So basically what anchor does, it's like it just wait, maybe it's a glitch. This wasn't supposed to happen. Well, just in case, I'm just gonna select all of this, and I'm just gonna select all of this, and oh yeah, I couldn't. So I'm just gonna select this and turn on anchor, and then I'm gonna select this and turn on anchor. I'm also gonna select the spawns, which is already anchored, so I'm not gonna do anything to it. And I'm gonna select obstacle 1 base to anchored as well. So hopefully if we play it, yeah, you see it stays in place. So basically what anchor does is that it just makes the object stay in place. Gravity will have no effect on it. So basically if there's a part that's really high up, if anchored was off, gravity will pull it down. Like it's real physics. But if anchor's on, it will just stay in place. So I don't know why that happened, but let's just forget about that. So now you know how obbies have checkpoints, like a lot of them. So I'm gonna add those as well. So first what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna model this after. I'm just gonna insert a part. I'm just gonna move this. So I'm gonna scale this as well. And now I'm just gonna change the material to glass. It's like a smooth thing. And I'm gonna change the color to like light green. Yeah, like lime green, you see in there. So this is gonna be maybe I should change the material to, well, let's just make it the same right now. So I'm gonna insert a script in this. So in the script, I need the code for the checkpoint. So if a player touches it, it's gonna save. So if the player dies again, it's just gonna load. The player's just gonna stay there. The player's not gonna respawn in the spawn point. So remember the way that we did the humanoid thing, and the humanoid's health will be to 0. It's gonna be pretty similar. So buckle up. So what I'm gonna do is local spawn equals to script.Parent. So we need if this checkpoint is touched, it will automatically save. It's humanoid, so it will respawn there. So technically the checkpoint, it's spawn. So I could write spawn spawn dot touched connect function, and I'm gonna add a parameter hit like we did before. So this is just an auto way to make a function. If it's touched, it will make a function with the parameter hit. So we need, in that function, we're gonna have a if statement. So it will be if hit and hit dot parent if hit and hit.Parent and hit.Parent colon find first child humanoid. So we're technically finding if there is the parameter, and we're gonna find the find the child humanoid that like we did before. So I'm just gonna click enter. So we're gonna do we're gonna write a local player equals to game.Players. So let me just show you something. So you see players isn't like this symbol. So you see there's other symbols that are the different, like these. They look like rectangles. So basically what this means is like the player is a service. You see the players. We fixed the respawn time from that. So what players does is like all the players that are in the game. So I'm gonna do players colon get a player from character. So this is a function. It's gonna get the player, like the character of the player, and in this function I'm gonna pass hit.Parent, and then I'm gonna make another variable local a checkpoint a data equals to game.ServerStorage. It's another service colon find first child. So it's gonna find the first child like we did before, and we're gonna name that checkpointData. So now we have our two variables, and I'm gonna write another if statement which will say if not checkpointData. That means if it's like not touched. So if not checkpointData, then so then it will do a checkpointData equals to Instance.new. So it's gonna create something new. I'm gonna write a model comma game dot server storage. So it's gonna create another Instance.new model, and then it's gonna be in game.ServerStorage, which is here. So it's gonna be all the server information. So then we're gonna do checkpointData.Name equals to checkpoint data. So this will be our if statement, and then I'm gonna do another variable local checkpoint equals to a checkpoint data colon find first child a tostring. So that's another function, tostring, and in this I'm gonna do player dot user ID. Oh, that's not how you spell it. So user ID. So you should always be aware of all the capitalization. So it always has to be like in the right spelling. So you really have to pay attention in that. So now I'm gonna be writing another if statement. If not checkpoint, and so if not checkpoint, then checkpoint checkpoint equals to Instance.new, and then I'm gonna put ObjectValue, comma checkpointData. Oh, you have to put in the parentheses checkpointData. So if it's in a checkpoint, I'm also gonna do checkpoint.Name. .Name equals to tostring. It's a function we used here. So equals to tostring a player dot user. Oh yeah, I spelled it wrong again. So dot user ID. So we will also do. We have to do a lot of things for the checkpoint. We will also do player dot character added. So character added connect connect function, and in that function I'm gonna write character. So now I'm gonna press enter, and in that I'm gonna be typing wait, then character wait for child. So wait for child humanoid root part. So dot cframe. So what cframe basically does, it's like all of the things in the home tab. It's like scale, rotate, move. So it could set the position of it. It could also set other advanced things I will cover in a later tutorial. So it could set like the rotation, the angular velocity. I think it's that. So what I'm gonna do is a humanoid root part dot cframe. It will be equals to game.ServerStorage, that's a service, dot checkpointData dot checkpointData, and then in the parentheses I'm gonna put I'm gonna be putting oh, not the parentheses, I'm gonna be putting the brackets. My mistake. Tostring. Let me just go here. I'm just gonna X out the properties tab. So tostring player. I don't know. So in tostring I'm gonna be putting a player dot user user ID. I did the same capitalization mistake again. I don't know what was happening. So dot user ID. So then I'm going to be putting dot value dot cframe plus I'm going to be doing vector3 dot new. So vector3 is, so let me just so vector3 is to define the position. So if we do 0, 0, 0, the x is going to be 0, the y is going to be 0, and the z is going to be 0. So it's the position of the object. So plus vector3 dot new 0, 4, 0. So you need to put this, and then and then there's only one line left. Is there? Oh yeah, there's one line left. So checkpoint. No, it's checkpoint dot value equals to spawn. Oh, not that spawn. spawn. Yeah, spawn. So this is the code for it, and so if we run this, so it's just loading. I'm gonna try my best right now. Well, this is just actually easy for me. And if I hit this and then I'm gonna die. Oh, painful death. You see, I spawned in this checkpoint. So this is the code for the checkpoint. So in the link in the description, I'm gonna be posting this code. So that's gonna be all for today's lesson. So if you enjoyed, please make sure to subscribe and like this video, and please leave a comment down below. And I don't know if I'm asking too much, but please share this with your friends. So basically that's it for today.